Network Studios, and welcome back to another stream inside of Grovewood. We've extended this highway like a decent amount of far now, I guess you can say. So where it is here, like after here, I'm going to be building the turnoff for the service station. Bearing in mind I do have plans for the service station in terms of like how I want it to be, but we've still got this side to do. This side is still completely, just water at the moment, so we still need to bring this along and do this side. We still need to complete this part of the highway, but I'm really loving this map. Everything is just going smoothly. And yeah, I'm pleased with the way it goes, the way we get stuff built on it. I definitely like having the main highway and then having the smaller highway, which actually then takes you into Grovewood itself. I definitely like that. I've got a really cool building idea that I would really potentially like to do at some point in the future. Now, I think I know which way I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this way, and what I want to do is I want to actually build a bridge. But I want to build a Pacific bridge. It's kind of like these, what come over the highway, but they don't get you onto the highway. So it's like a road, what basically takes you over the highway, but you don't join the highway. It's just a bridge which just passes over the highway, and then it'll like what's going to happen is it's going to take you out of Grovewood, another way out of Grovewood, which is going to be down here, and then you're going to start going up this hill, and then what's going to happen is you're then going to go over this bridge, and this bridge has to be kind of like connected to some form of hill slash mountain. It's not like supported by any big pillars which go down into the water. This bridge is just primarily connected to this mountain. It's like a really fancy arch underneath, and it looks so amazing. Like you guys physically don't understand how amazing this bridge looks. It's actually on the M62 in real life. So in real life it actually does cross over a motorway. And I don't know if you guys have travelled on the M62, but you come to a service station called Hartshead. And basically just after Hartshead you go down the motorway a bit, sort of heading more towards heading more west, towards Liverpool and all of that kind of all of that part of the country, and the motorway sort of curves a bit, and then you get like I think there's about 2 of them in total, and they're just these amazing, really high bridges which just connect to this mountain with this beautiful arch. And in real life they're really nice to drive underneath. But they look so nice, and I'd love to do it in Minecraft. I think it'd look really cool just having a beautiful terraformed mountain and then just having this really nice bridge what just kind of goes over it, and then you have the lake underneath. So what my initial idea is, if I just kind of show you again, is the lake we have down here, what we have down here, it's just over here. This lake here is going to more than likely connect to it. So this bridge here will more than likely end up going across this lake, but this lake will more than likely come a little bit bigger, because obviously like these bridges here, they're not very wide. The other bridge we need to do, which will then go across the highway, is actually going to be a lot more longer width wise. So this here isn't actually all that long. So what's going to happen is the river's definitely going to get a bit wider. So what my initial plan with the river is to bring the river a bit further down here to where I roughly think that to, you know, where I roughly think we're going to do it. So what my initial plan is with Grovewood is to kind of basically have another like intersection just down here, you know, like, you know, just down here, a bit further down here, not too far, because when we're on the highway as such, I don't want them big highway bridges to still be in distance. I don't want them to be too close to that. I want them to have kind of just nicely spawned out of the area, if that makes sense. So, you know, personally, I think doing it near here might be a good, you know, doing it about here might be a good choice. So what's going to happen is there's going to be an intersection, you know, like a normal maybe traffic light intersection place. There's maybe going to be the start of like a little housing district, and there's going to be a road what takes you out of Grovewood. So there's going to, you know, physically be a street what takes you out of Grovewood. And it's just a little, you know, normal everyday country road, normal two-way country road. And then the road's going to start going up a bit of a hill. And then what's going to happen is you're going to come across this beautiful bridge, which is just going to look down on the highway. And at the same time, it's also going to look down on this river as well. So, you know, the main part of it is to kind of have the highway passing through it. So like the bridge is going over the highway, but then at the same time you've got the river going near the bridge as well. And then what we'll do is we'll have another little bridge similar to this one over here. So similar to this bridge just here. You see this one just here. We'll have another bridge like this just after the big bridge, which will then just go over the little, you know, which will then just go over the little river. And I think it will create an absolutely amazing effect. Like I say, I'm really looking forward to doing some nice countryside terraforming and stuff as this map, because I don't want this map to just be Grovewood. I want Grovewood to be the, you know, kind of like the capital of the map, if that makes sense. But then I want to have it surrounded by all this beautiful countryside and some little villages and towns, you know what I mean? So Grovewood is going to be the biggest place on the map, but it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be huge to the point that, you know, it's not going to be a Los Ashley's size map just on Grovewood, if that makes sense. Grovewood is going to have a seafront, a shopping area, few industrial areas, the airport, the docks, and then some housing districts, and then that's really going to be it for Grovewood. And then I want the rest of it to be kind of like, you know, focused on this sort of like countryside and towns, and really focusing on the highway, and then make out like the highway will lead to other people's maps and stuff like that. And what I was actually thinking about now, this is just a, you know, this is just a little that this is nothing set in stone, but I was actually thinking about building a sandstone bay in this map, so recreating Sandstone Bay as a remastered version. I spoke to it with Ant, and Sandstone Bay is only meant to be like a small seaside town, nothing huge. So we could do a small portion of a little town called Sandstone Bay, and this could primarily be the Sandstone Bay, you know what I mean? And then I would have it on the same map, and then again we could kind of come up with some other little, you know, towns, you know, near Grovewood, what would then use the seaside, if that makes sense. So Grovewood would be the main one, and then we could have kind of like Sandstone Bay as kind of like the nearer ones. Like for example, you have like Scarborough near me in Real, which is like, you know, the big seaside place. And then just near it you have like Filey, which is another seaside place, but it's a bit of a smaller seaside place, and it doesn't sort of have as much things to do as Grovewood would have, for example, or, you know, say Scarborough would have. And we could kind of have it like that, where, you know, the next town next to Grovewood, you know, a few miles just next to Grovewood, would then be Sandstone Bay. And then you could do a few housing areas in there, you could have a little seafront, few arcades, nothing too fancy. You could have a little like pier or something, and you could really see where it goes. Like, I'm really excited for this map because there's just so much you could do, you know, so much like how you can construct it and make it into your own really cool little sort of almost like county, if that makes sense. You can have it as your own sort of little county, just a little like loads of countrysides and little towns. I think will be sick, and then have this as the main highway, which will then take you to all different kinds of places. Like, this highway would take you to the bigger cities, but obviously we won't go to the bigger cities because the map would probably end. Or we'll just make the bigger cities really far away and then just build the highway till the edge of the map, because if we go this way we've got to somehow surely get to the end of the map somewhere, and then if we go this way we've got to somehow get to the end of the map as well, you know, the border of the map. So we can just fill the whole entire map with towns and little villages and countryside places. We can even do some like outdoor garden centres and stuff like that. Like, you know, the thing is incredible, the sort of like ideas and stuff we can do, rather than just focusing on one big city, you know what I mean. We can do each little towns and we can interior them all. We can do all the shops and the houses. You know, we can add all the warehouse depots in the back of the factories, the trucks. We can build all machines inside of the factories, rather than like doing huge cities, building massive skyscrapers, what in so many months time you can't be bothered to go back and finish, or you can't be bothered to interior. And I mean, we can still do things like stadiums. That's no, Grovewood is going to have a football stadium somewhere. And then in the towns and the villages we can do some little football clubs, stuff like that. We can do some like little, you know, cricket pavilions, you know, cricket grounds and stuff like that, little tennis courts. You know, we can do quite a decent amount of stuff. We can do like leisure centres. You know, we don't necessarily need to do like, you know, like great big massive builds. You know, we can just kind of have this one big map with loads of little builds on it, which I think could be quite good. It's, you know, what we can do is unreal. And that's why I'm like so looking forward to this map, but it just takes time. You know, we'll be on Grovewood for a while as it is, but that doesn't mean to say we can't start constructing some of the other towns. Like, you know, some days we can build in Grovewood, some days we can build in another town just nearby. Like, obviously I'm not going to go to the other end of the map and start building, but say if like just a little bit up here we were having a little village, we could more or less, you know, just go and build a house in there if we didn't feel like, you know, doing some of the bigger stuff in Grovewood. So, you know, you'll have to let me know what you think of this idea, but I don't think I enjoy building big cities as much. I definitely enjoy doing like the UK. Like, UK isn't big cities anyway, really. I mean, you have London, what has a few skyscrapers, Manchester, Hull, Leeds. They, you know, they have the odd tall hotel buildings and stuff like that, and office apartments, but you don't have nothing like New York with like big tall skyscrapers left, right and centre, you know what I mean? It, you know, like a lot of the UK is kind of like more built around shopping and houses, museums, and you know what I mean, and especially like factory areas, play parks, and then you have all these like dual carriageways and highways, and you have a lot of good countryside in the UK, you know, hills and mountains, and rather than all these like really big cities with highways running through them and massive skyscrapers like on every street you go on. So Grovewood is going to represent the UK quite a lot. So yeah. There's 2 events happening today. Vlogging them both, of course. So the first one is we have the push bikes coming through town in about an hour. I'll be ending the live stream soonish because I'm going to be getting ready to go. But we have the push bikes coming through our town to do like the big push bike race. Like the Tour de France and stuff like that. But it's like coming like the Tour de Yorkshire, and they're coming through our town. So I'm going to be vlogging it for you guys. I've literally got my camera on charge now as we speak. Alright, so apparently it says the camera is full. I'm not really sure. I know what I'm gonna do though. I know when I finish the push bikes and I'm back here, I know I'm gonna give the camera a good charge again because I want to make sure we get lots of videos tonight. Tonight's huge, guys. Tonight is literally massive. And I know of quite a few people who are actually going. I know of a few people who are actually going. Hopefully there's this one girl who's going. I met her not the last remix, but the remix before. I was just dancing about on the dance floor, and she kind of just thought, fick it, and joined in with me and carried on dancing. And she danced with me for quite a while with one of her friends, long enough, let's say, on the night for me to think, the next day I'm gonna find who this is. So I, started looking around to see if Remix had, put the pictures up, see if her name was in, one of the pictures, if, she'd had a picture took and stuff like that. And, eventually, somehow, I can't remember how, I found her, so I thought I'd add her anyway. And, she accepted the friend request, but she put a comment on Facebook yesterday saying that, she was asking who was going to remix, basically, because a lot of their friends, were either, couldn't get, babysitters or whatever, or, bearing in mind she is a few years older than me, or, all her friends were bad from, being allowed to go in. So I just did the thing and commented and said I'm going. A couple of other people did, and she couldn't get a taxi. She didn't want to pay 30 quid for a taxi. So I thought, I'll do the generous thing, and I'll browse Google for an hour or so and just see if I can find any cheaper taxis, what would get her there and back from Scarborough to Brid within a decent, for a decent price, basically. And I couldn't really find any in the end, so I was looking, and the cheapest I found was about 28 quid, but I don't know if that was just a single. I don't think it was a return, so kind of a bit of a bummer. And I also sent them a message, and I sent the website a message via my email, just to see what the cheapest price was. And that I know of, now this is only that I know of, they haven't got back to me yet. Now my iPad has literally just died not long since, but as far as I know, they haven't, sorted anything out just yet. About, they haven't got back to me when I was last on my iPad. So I need to check my emails again just to make sure that they haven't replied. And I also messaged a taxi firm on Facebook, and it said that they typically reply within a day. But hopefully she gets it sorted so she can come. because she really wants to come. You know. So I thought, I'll help her out and do the good deed and see if I can find any cheap taxis. And if I lived in Scarborough, I would have given her a lift myself, because obviously I get a lift. But, if for whatever reason I'd have been in Scarborough before, say for example, I'd been doing a bit of shopping or well, not shopping, but say if I'd gone out for a meal or something, and, by the time I come back from Scarborough, it was easier to go around by Brid. I would have said where do you live, and I'll seeing if I could have given her a lift, but unfortunately, that's obviously not the case, as I obviously live in Driffield. But hopefully she gets some form of lift there, or taxi fare, much cheap enough. But other than that, I do know of a few people who are actually going. Which is going to be quite interesting. I know some people say they're going and then they don't go. There was a person I think who was meant to be going to Retro, and I asked him, and it said he was going on the event thing, and I messaged him and said, "Oh, you're going to Retro, lad?" Because I thought, "Oh wow, he's going to Retro." But then he turns out he didn't end up going. I never saw him there that I know of. But then the same person put a status on Facebook last night saying club filler tomorrow, and then put a question mark, just genuinely asking, if anybody's going. I commented and said I'm going, but I don't know if he's getting anybody to go or not. Now I was typically going to ask my one of my best mates if he wanted to go. I don't know if he's going to a thing at Hull or not, but I have a best friend who I've known him for years. He's stuck up for me all through school basically, and my mum and his mum were best friends for years, and we've always been decent friends. We don't speak as much now because we've got busy. I work, do a lot of streaming, and he does his things, you know what I mean? But we're still good friends. So I thought, I'll see if he wants to go. But I don't know if he will or not, because he might not be the one to, he might be going to this other thing, what's happening in Hull. There's a deja vu event thing at the Fusion place in Hull, or Function, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you I can't remember exactly what you call it, but he could quite well be easily doing something like that with some of the other lads who I asked if they were going, but it just depends really. Ooh. Alright, Tyler, man. Hey, that's sick. So yeah, obviously he would have had to pay for his own. Well, you can actually pay on the door tonight, so I would have helped him out and bought him a few drinks if he comes. I'm still gonna message him and see, you know what I mean? There's I'll obviously buy him a couple of drinks if he does in return, and I don't know how much it is on the door, but I could I don't think it'll be that dear, and he could have just come with me, and maybe got a few other people to go, because these things at Brid, people don't realise actually how good they are and how good the atmosphere and and the community of it is. You know what I mean? It's not something you really know how good it is until you actually do it yourself. Like you'd kind of think like, oh, Brid, what's going to be good at Brid, but when you do actually go to something like Remix for a night out, you actually get surprised how packed it is. I mean, the last Remix, it was Hixie and Lasgo. People came down from London. They came all the way up to Brid just for this one night, They came just for the one night to see, Lasgo and Hixie and, all of them. And, just gotta see. So, I am gonna message him, see what he says. So, yes, guys. So we'll take this piece of road out. We're nearly done, to be fair. We've nearly extended it now. So what I'm going to do is do all the normal grey bits before putting the road markings in, and then leave the gaps where the road markings go, and then do this and then we'll do the road markings after, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll keep making sure that my camera's having a good charge, because I honestly don't want it to die tonight, because it's the first birth. Oh yeah, of course. I said I was going to do something today, and I've just reminded myself to do it. Yep, here we are, tonight's special D and club filler. There we go. Alright, so here's what it says about tonight, guys. Tonight's special D and club filler. Discount tickets are available from the Forum Cinema or online at www.jnobleandsons.com/forum. Pay on the door will be available on the night event page, the link to the event page, and then it's basically hashtag special D, hashtag classics, hashtag club filler, hashtag party, hashtag Friday, and basically that's what it is. But what I wanted to do was go onto the event page, because it says the first birthday. So what I actually want to go ahead and do is I actually want to comment and post happy birthday remix in the event page. You know what I mean? Oh, and there's finally details now. Wow, that's like... It's our 1 year birthday. Alright, so special D, come with me, nothing I won't do. Club filler, Liam Foley. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, so we'll read more about it. Alright, so discount tickets on sale, doors open 9 PM. 4 AM, last entry 2 AM, event location, Utopia above the Foreign Entertainment Complex on the seafront, the Forum, 30-32 Promenade, Bridlington, East Riding of Yorkshire, YO15 2QD. If you are lucky enough to look under 18 years old, please bring ID. Dress code, trainers allowed, no sports tops or bottoms. We reserve the right to refuse entry. Wow. Alright, and see you tonight. Okay guys, so you know our remix, it's the first birthday, right? Well, I kind of posted in their event page and said happy birthday remix because, well, I mean, it does say it's the first birthday, so I don't know what really to expect, like, I don't know, it says the first birthday, so... So I thought, you know, why not post happy birthday remix? I mean, they are a year old and that all of that whatnot, so... You know what, I'm actually surprised Cayman hasn't posted in the event page. But still. That's it. Tonight is the night, Utopia Lex Bar. What's the upcoming event? Oh, this is the only upcoming event they have now. So yeah. So anyway guys, I am going to go ahead and leave the stream here, as I've got to go and like get, you know, I've got to get a bit more prepared and ready for these to start vlogging. I might be vlogging a circus today, I'm not entirely sure yet. Depends what goes down really in Chinatown. And all I can say is tonight is going to consist of a lot of drinking, socialising, dancing, and a bit of decent music. So, you know, and I mean proper music, like... Well, no, to be honest with you, I will say proper music, but I don't mean it as in like I don't mean it as in like other music isn't proper music. Because at the end of the day, proper music is music, isn't it? Really, like it's just like all music is proper music. Like whether it's grime, whether it's jazz, whether it's hardcore, hard house, dance, hip hop, it's all proper music. It just it just means like it just what I mean is I'm going to the music I like, so I don't have to listen to necessarily music what doesn't really interest me. Like proper music to me is this type of music. I'm not saying that the other type of music isn't proper music, but when I think of music itself, when I think of music or tune or track, that's when I think of like hardcore stuff and bouncy stuff like that. When I think of like song or musical note, that's when I then think of like other stuff. Or when I think of like a hit, I think of like other type of music like rap or normal radio hits. Whereas this, like these tunes have had the clubs going for years, way before, since before I was born. So that's why I kind of class it. I class like radio music and stuff like that something you just have on in the van while you're travelling to work. But I don't think I'd enjoy going to an event and listening to radio hits. For example, like I wouldn't really enjoy going and seeing Zara Larsson live or something like that. You know what I mean? That's not a night out for me. When I think of a night out, I think of like Clubland and stuff like that, like proper party and proper getting you going. So I'm gonna be leaving the stream here anyway, guys, because like I say, I want to get ready to push to vlog the cycling event. I'm gonna be doing a vlog, and then I'm also going to get ready to go ahead and call it and get ready for some other stuff what's happening today. So like, subscribe and comment. We shall see you all the next stream.